तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। So we'll begin the 99th anuccheda. Lakshmi is the energy of the Supreme Lord. In the last anuccheda, it was quite long. We discussed how the Vedic sound reveals Bhagavan. Now, Lakshmi is the energy of the Supreme Lord. So, up to this point, it was described that Bhagavan is the absolute reality in its feature of highest completion, and which has two other manifestations, Brahman and Paramatma. So, we have discussed so many times that Brahman realization is the first level realization of the absolute truth. When a person realizes the absolute truth without qualities, without activities, without a form. And then higher than that is the Paramatma realization. A person gets more understanding of the absolute truth. Paramatma has a form. Paramatma has activities. Upadrashta, Anumanta, cha Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwaraha, Paramatmeti chapyukto, Dehesmin Purusha Paraha. The highest level of understanding of the absolute truth is the Bhagavan realization, who has unlimited qualities, unlimited activities, who has unlimited forms. Somebody was sharing a more contemporary example. So, in the online Zoom class we have. Online Zoom class, suppose you see the person name is there. So we understand, okay, this person is present in the class. So we get some understanding of the person by seeing the person's name in the class. Video is not on, so we understand, okay, the person is present in the class. We get some understanding. And suppose, so this is like a Brahman realization. And suppose the person has put the video on, then you get little more understanding. Okay, this person is, he's kept the video on. He's actually focused on attending the class. Because it's like a Paramatma realization, little more understanding of the person. When the video is not on, it may be possible that he may be traveling or he may be involved in some other activities, but he's also listening. Or sometimes a person just to make the attendance who may be attending, he may not be physically present. So we get, but some understanding is there. But when the video is on, we get little more understanding. That is Paramatma realization. But then when you have the live class, when we are seeing the person and then speaking live class, then that is like the Bhagavan realization. We get even more understanding of the person. Because even when the video is on and person is attending, it may be possible that he may be doing some other work in the laptop simultaneously. Like we may not know, like that. But when the person is there in front of the you, live class, then you know whether the person is, you, you can see his expressions, you can see what he is doing, like he is completely there with you. You can, then you can speak. So that's like the even more understanding. So Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So Bhagavan feature has many energies. So about the energies of the Lord, this 99th anuccheda is mentioned, speaking about it. So we'll begin. Ataikameva Swarupam Shaktitvena Shaktimatvena cha Virajati iti. So Ata Ekameva, the one absolute nature, exists as the both as the energy and as the energetic source. Ata Ekameva Swarupam Shaktitvena Shaktimatvena cha Virajati iti. The one absolute truth exists as the energy as well as the energetic source. Yasya Shaktehe Swarupabhutatvam Nirupitam Tat Shaktimatta Pradanyena Virajamanam Bhagavat Sanyam Apnoti. It has also been explained that when the absolute exists predominantly as an energetic source, predominantly as an energetic source, whose potencies have been shown to be intrinsic, whose potencies have been shown to be intrinsic to its essential nature, then it takes the name Bhagavan. Bhagavat Sanyam Apnoti. When the absolute nature exists predominantly as the Shaktiman and whose potencies are intrinsic to its essential nature, then he takes the name Bhagavan. Tacha Vyakyata. And that has been explained so far. So far in the Bhagavat Sandarbha, the Bhagavan has been explained in detail. But Tadeva Shaktitva Pradanyena Virajamanam Laxmi Sanyam Apnoti iti darshayitum tasyaha स्ववृत्तिभेदेन अनंतायाः कियंतो भेदा darshayante. So when the same nature exists predominantly as the energy, when the same nature exists predominantly as the energy, it takes the name Lakshmi. So in order to demonstrate this Lakshmi, we will show some of her aspects, which are unlimited because of her innumerable functions. So when the Shaktiman, so there is only one absolute truth. That one absolute truth exists as the energy as well as the energetic source. Very important shloka in Chaitanya Charitamrita. That shloka. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Hladini Shakti Rasmad एकात्मना अपि भुवि पुरा देह भेदम गतौ तौ चैतन्याख्यं प्रकटमधुना तद्वयं चैक्यमाप्तं राधा भाव द्युति सुवलितं नौमि कृष्ण स्वरूपम. The one absolute truth, Eka Atmana, Api, there is only one absolute truth who manifests as the Krishna and as Srimati Radharani. Krishna is the Shaktiman and Srimati Radharani is the Shakti. The one absolute truth manifests as the energy as well as the energetic source, Shakti and Shaktiman. So when the the energetic source, when the absolute truth exists predominantly as an energetic source, when the emphasis is given to the Shaktiman, then he takes the name Bhagavan. When the same nature exists predominantly as an energy, then he takes the name as Laxmi. He takes the name Laxmi or Radha. Ekatmana Chaitanya Radha Krishna Pranay Bhakti Ladini Shakti Rasmat Ekatmana Api Bhuvi Pura Deha Vedav Gatauto. And now that Shakti and Shaktiman are joined together in one form as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the Shakti of the Supreme Absolute Truth, there are unlimited varieties of there because of the unlimited functions. So Shukdev Jiva Goswami quotes a shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 39th chapter. Akrura coming to, I think, the Shriya Push, somebody can repeat after me, 10.39.55. Shriya Pushtya Gira Kantya
श्रिया पुष्ट्य गिरा कांत्या
Kirtya Tushtyela Yorjaya
कीर्त्या तुष्ट्येलयोर्जया
Vidyaya Vidyaya Shaktya
विद्यया विद्यया शक्त्या
Mayaya Cha Nishevitam.
मायया च निषेवितम्.
Also in attendance were the Lord's personal potencies, namely Shri, Pushti, Gir, Kanti, Kirti, Tushti, Ila, Urja, Vidya, Avidya, Maya, and Shakti. So this is a pramana from the Bhagavatam. How there are so many aspects of the Lord's Shakti. So Shaktir Mahalakshmi Bhuta, Mahalakshmi Rupa, Swarupa Bhuta. Here the Shakti means the intrinsic energy in the form of Mahalakshmi. Shakti Shabdasya Pratama Shakti Shabdasya Pratama Pravrityashraya Rupa Bhagavad Antaranga Mahashakti. Shakti Shabdasya Pratama Pravrityashraya Rupa Bhagavad Antaranga Mahashakti. Bhagavad Antaranga Mahashakti. So, the supreme internal energy of Bhagavan is the entity denoted by the primary meaning of the word Shakti. Pratama Pravrityashraya Rupa. That means the word Shakti, by its primary meaning, it refers to Bhagavat Antaranga Mahashakti. The supreme internal energy of Bhagavan is the primary meaning of the word Shakti. Maya cha Bahiranga Shakti. Maya is the external energy. So the word Shakti refers to the Shakti primarily refers to the supreme internal energy, and Maya refers to the external energy. So basically, it's explaining the different terms in the shloka. And then Shrayadayastu. Shri Adayastu. Shrayadayastu means Shri Adayastu. Tayoreva Vritti Rupaha. The other energies like Shri are indeed various manifestations of these two. Of these two means what? Shakti and Maya. So tasam sarvasam api prakrita aprakritata bedena shruyamanatvat. Prakrita prakritata bedena shruyamanatvat. A split and read. Prakrita aprakrita bedena shruyamanatvat. Because the scriptures divide all of them into categories of material and transcendental potencies. So every Shakti of Krishna has a spiritual aspect and a material counterpart. So the supreme Antaranga Shakti, the supreme Antaranga energy, the supreme internal energy of Bhagavan is called by the word Shakti, and the external energy is called by the word Maya. Tataha Shriyetyadau Shakti Vritti Rupaya Maya Vritti Rupaya Cha Iti Sarvatra Jneyam. It should be understood, therefore, that all of these, beginning with the Shri, have two facets. A manifestation of the internal potency and a manifestation of the external potency. A manifestation of Shakti and a manifestation of Maya. The word Shakti here refers to the internal potency. Maya refers to external potency. Tatra purvasya bedaha. Tatra purvasya bedaha. Shrir Bhagavati Sampat. Natviyam Mahalakshmi Rupa Tasya Mula Shaktitvat. So in the first category, Shri refers to the Bhagavan's splendor, Bhagavati Sampat, a facet of his internal potency. So a facet of his internal potency. So this Shri, however, is not the original goddess herself. Shri Bhagavati Sampat Natviyam Mahalakshmi Rupa. Here the Shri does not refer to the Mahalakshmi. Shri refers to the opulence. So in the first category, so this opulence can have, it has two categories. In the internal energy aspect of the Lord and the external energy aspect of the Lord. In the internal energy, it refers to the Bhagavati Sampat, the splendor of the Lord. And so this Shri is not the original goddess herself, Mahalakshmi. As she is the fountainhead of all potencies. Mahalakshmi means Radharani only. Mahalakshmi is the fountainhead of all potencies. Tasya Mula Shaktitva. Tad Agre Vivaraniyam. That will be described later. That Mahalakshmi will be described later. Uttarasya Bedaha. So Uttarasya Bedaha, that means the Shri has a division in the second category. In the second category means the external energy aspect of the Lord. Shri refers to the material wealth of this world. Shri Jagati Sampat. Shri Jagati Sampat. So the second category, Shri is the material wealth. Manifestation of the external potency. Imameva adhikritya tayeva dishnye biratasya kimtaya. So the external energy aspect of the Shri, that means the material wealth. For that, Jiva Goswami is giving three references from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Three references from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Three or four references. The first reference he gives from the Prithu Maharaj's prayer. Sayeva Dishke Biratasya Kim Taya. I think the shloka is that um, Jagadjananyam Jagadisha Vaishasam Syadeva Yatkarmani na Samihitum Karoshi Falgu Urudina Vatsala Swayeva Dishne Biratasya Kimtaya. Swayeva Dishne Biratasya Kimtaya. Being absorbed in your own Swarupa, what need do you have for Shri? That here it refers to the material aspect of the material wealth of this world. The material wealth aspect of the Shri. Because you are absorbed in your Swarupa. So what is the need for, what need do you have for the Shri of this world, this material wealth? Another reference. Another reference is from the 3rd canto, 16th chapter. In the Jaya Vijay episode, when the Lord comes to pacify the four Kumaras, the Lord says that 3.16.7 that Shrir Viraktamapi Mam Vijahati Ityadi Vakyam. Nashrir Viraktamapi Mam Vijahati. Although I am indifferent to Shri, that means I am indifferent to the material wealth of this world. Krishna will never be indifferent to the spiritual aspect of Shri. That is Bhagavati Sampat. But Krishna is indifferent to the material wealth of this world. Although I am indifferent to her, she never abandons me. She never abandons me. So here also there is reference for the material counterpart, the Jagati Sampat aspect of the Shri. And third quotation. Third quotation is from the Narada's instruction to the Prachetas, 4th canto, 31st chapter. So we can repeat the shloka. Shriyamanucharatim tadartinascha
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Yes, sir. Shriyamanuchara
Shriyamanucharatim tadartinascha
Dvipadapatin Vibudam Chayat Swapurnaha
द्विपदपतीन् विबुधांश्च यत् स्वपूर्णः
न भजति निजभृत्यवर्गतन्त्रः
न भजति निजभृत्य वर्गतन्त्रः
कथममुम् उत्विसृजेत् पुमान् कृतज्ञः.
कथममुम् उद्विसृजेत् पुमान् कृतज्ञः.
So in this shloka also, Narada Muni is saying that the Lord being complete in himself, Swapurnaha, the Lord being complete in himself, does not respond to the goddess of fortune. She does not respond to the goddess of fortune, although she pursues him. Shriyam anucharatim tadartinacha dvipadapatim. The Lord is indifferent to the goddess of fortune, although she pursues him. Nor to the kings. Dvipada patin means that Dvipada refers to human beings. Dvipada patin refers to the leaders of the human beings, that is the different kings. Vibhudan and the devatas who solicit the favors of goddess of fortune. So that means the Lord is indifferent to the material aspect of the Shri. But na bhajati nija britya varga tantraha, nija britya varga tantraha. But the Lord, however, is subordinate to his devotees. Krishna becomes subservient to his pure devotees. So how can a person who knows the aesthetics of rasa, puman kritagnaha, In some places, instead of Kritagnya, Rasagnya word is used. So how can a person who knows the aesthetics of rasa ever abandon him? Katam amum ut visrijet puman Kritagnyah. So in this shloka also, when it is mentioned that Shriyam Anucharati, the Lord being complete in himself is indifferent to Shri, here the Shri refers to the material aspect of Shri. And then further he says, Tatra Tadarti Dvipadapatyadi Sahabhava Upajivyaha. So in this verse, Shri refers to the material wealth because she is being classed together with those who yearn for her. That is, such as the kings of this world. Tatra tadarti dvipadapatyaadi sahabhava upajivyah. Tata durvasasah शापनष्टायास त्रैलोक्य लक्ष्म्या आविर्भावम साक्षात भगवत प्रेयसी रूपा स्वयं क्षीरोदादा क्षीरो क्षीरोदादाविर्भूय दृष्ट्या कृतवती इति श्रूयते. So similarly, it is described that Lakshmi, the direct consort of the Lord, appeared from the milk ocean and by her glance restored the goddess of fortune of the three worlds, who had been destroyed with the Durvasa's curse. So there's a story of Durvasa's curse, I think that will mention in the purport. Because of Durvasa Muni's curse, the material aspect of the goddess of fortune, that means the material aspect of the wealth of this world, she was destroyed by Durvasa's curse. But when the spiritual Shri appeared in the milk ocean during the Samudra Manthan, she actually restored by her glance, she restored the goddess of fortune of the three worlds. Shiro Dada, Shiro Shira Udadau Avirbhuya Drishtya Kritavati iti Shruyate. So that I think Durvasa's curse maybe it is explained in the purport. You will see in the purport Durvasa's curse. Okay, anyway. And then further he says, Yevam apara api. Similarly, the other energies means Pushti Shakti, Gir Shakti, Kanti, Kirti, Tushti, Ila, and Urja, other energies mentioned in the 10th canto 39th chapter shloka. Other energies also belong to both categories. There's a spiritual aspect and the material counterpart. So, Tatra Ila Bhus Tad Upalakshanattvena Leela Api. Among these, Ila is Bhu, which by expansion also indicates Leela Shakti. So oftentimes Narayana's energies are often described as Shri, Bhu and Leela. Shri Devi, Bhu Devi and Neela Devi. Neela Devi or Leela, both are same. In the Shri Sampradaya, these three consorts of Lord Narayana are described. Shri Devi, Bhu Devi and Neela Devi. So, and then tatra cha purvasya bedu vidya tatvava karanam samvidakyayas tad vrittir vritti visheshaha. As a division of the internal potency, vidya is instrumental in understanding the absolute truth. When you talk about vidya shakti, when the vidya refers to the internal aspect of the Supreme Lord, vidya helps a person in understanding the absolute truth. And this vidya is a special function of the samvit shakti of the Supreme Lord. Samvidakyaya tad vrittir vritti vishesha. Uttarasya bedastasya. Uttarasya bedastasya eva vidyayaha prakashadwaram. As a division of the external aspect, vidya is the illuminating gateway to the above vidya. As a when the vidya shakti, every shakti of the Supreme Lord has a material counterpart and a spiritual counterpart. So vidya refers to a spiritual counterpart. It will help in understanding the absolute truth, which is a special function of the Samvit Shakti. And vidya refers to the material counterpart. It is the illuminating gateway to the above vidya. It will help a person to come to the first level, come to the level of Sattva Guna. And that acts as a gateway to understand higher knowledge.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhuji, there is a doubt on this 1039-55, where the 12 energies are described. That first 7 are given, and there is a and added after the 7, and Urja, Vidya, Maya, and Shakti. That 5 are given. So now this Vidya also comes. Vidya also is a spiritual energy as well as a material energy. So should we understand both? All the 12 will have material and spiritual energy segment.
Yes.
Both.
Yeah, all the 12. All the 12 has a material counterpart and a spiritual counterpart. The last two which are mentioned, Maya and Shakti, and that Shakti refers to the supreme internal energy. And Maya refers to the supreme external energy. And the other things, they will have an internal energy counterpart and external energy counterpart. And that Shakti refers to supreme internal energy. And the personification of that is the Mahalakshmi.
Okay.
So she is the fountainhead of all potencies.
So now, as you described, this knowledge will help us to understand the absolute truth. This is the special function of the energy called Samvit. So Samvit is the purely internal, that is a spiritual energy, right?
Spiritual energy, internal energy of the Lord. The internal energy, elsewhere it is described that it has 3 divisions. Hladini, Sandhini, Samvit. This verse will discuss in next class. Hladini, Sandhini, Samvit, Tvayeka Sarva Samsito, Hlada Tapa Kari Mishra, Tvayino Gunavarjite. That internal energy has got 3 aspects: Hladini, Samvit, and Sandhini. Elsewhere it is. The Samvit is one of them.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, bro.
And then when we talk about avidya lakshano bedah. Avidya lakshano bedah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Haribol. Prabhuji, what is the difference here between Sandhini and Samvit?
Sandhini Samvit will discuss next class, because that shloka will come later in this same anuccheda.
Okay.
Sandhini and Samvit will discuss, but it will be digression from this topic.
I'll refer the book. Okay, thank you.
Sandhini is, in brief, there is that Sandhini is the potency of existence. Samvit is the cognitive potency. Sandhini is the potency of existence. Samvit is the cognitive potency, and Hladini is the potency which bestows ananda.
Yeah.
Hladini bestows ananda. Sandhini is existence, and Samvit is the cognitive potency. That's the brief.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt, but Maharaj gave a very good class on this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day. Maharaj had spoken about this elaborately. So, Prabhuji, you can hear Maharaj's class.
Oh,
The Prabhuji, you just asked the question.
okay. Sandhini, Samvit, and Hladini. You can also, like a simple understanding, you can say, suppose you buy a car, you get a certain pleasure in owning a car. And then when you actually try to learn the driving the car, then you get a little more pleasure. When you get the knowledge of driving the car, first is you get simply you bought the car. That is first level. And then you got the knowledge of driving the car. Then you get more pleasure. And then when you actually go on a riding, when you actually go on riding to some place, then you get more pleasure. That is. Or suppose you got all the ingredients for making a rasgulla, and you got all the ingredients for making a rasgulla, and you got the, say, suppose nobody does by seeing the manual. Suppose you bought the manual for making the rasgulla, and all the ingredients are bought. That is first level. Second, that you actually learned the knowledge of making a rasgulla by, say, reading the manual, or you are actually going, attended the class, and you have personally witnessed how they make the rasgulla. You have learned the knowledge. And then third is when you actually make the rasgulla, and then when you taste the rasgulla, then you get even more pleasure. In that way, by the Sandhini potency, by the existential potency, it gives certain pleasure to the Lord. Samvit potency gives even higher pleasure to the Lord. And Hladini Shakti gives the highest pleasure to the Bhagavan. So Sandhini is the existential potency, Samvit is the cognitive potency, and Hladini is the pleasure-giving potency. So these three will discuss it mostly next class. So here, avidya lakshano bedaha purvasya bhagavati vibhutvad vibhutvadi vismriti hetur matrubhavadi maya premananda vritti visheshaha. So the avidya is the cause of forgetting the avidya. Avidya also has two aspects: the spiritual counterpart and the material counterpart. When the avidya refers to the spiritual counterpart of avidya makes a devotee forget the Aishwarya aspect of the Lord. Makes a devotee forget that Krishna is Bhagavan. And because of that, a devotee considers Krishna as a small child. Yashoda saw the entire Brahmanda within Krishna. But the avidya aspect, the spiritual counterpart of avidya, made Yashoda forget that entire scene. Therefore, despite seeing the entire universe within Krishna, Yashoda completely forgot about it. Her affection towards Krishna, the Vatsalya Bhava, increased even further. So, avidya is the cause of forgetting the awe-inspiring majesty of the Lord. and is a special manifestation of the bliss of love, Premananda, embodied in a foundational loving emotions, such as those of Krishna's mother, Yashoda. That is why in the Gopala Tapani Upanishad it is mentioned, Atayeva Gopijana avidya kala prerakaha. One who induces the gopi the energy of avidya or the absence of awareness. Because of avidya, gopis don't consider Krishna as the Bhagavan only. Gopi jana avidya kala prerakaha. And yata avasaram etadapi vivaraniyam. When the right time comes, that this will also be explained in more detail. Especially we will see in the Krishna Sandarbha and in the Preeti Sandarbha, there it will be described in more detail how Krishna inspires avidya in the gopis. Uttarasyaha sabedaha samsarinam स्वरूप विस्मृत्यादि हेतुरावरणात्मक वृत्ति विशेषः. So the material counterpart of avidya, it makes all the living entities in the samsara forget their swarupa. So avidya is a branch of maya in a special covering potency which causes the conditioned soul to forget their own swarupa. I am Jiva Swarupo hi Krishna and Nityadas. Forgets Jivatmas forget their identity, the servant of Krishna. They identify with matter, they identify with their body, and then they try to enjoy the body. And then further. Yes.
Prabhuji, that's that apohanam mentioned in the Sarvasya Chaham sloka. That same and avidya is same.
Yeah, because the material counterpart of avidya makes the living entity forget their swarupa. So the sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matasmritir jnanam apohanam cha. So when the super soul sees the living entity wants to enjoy the matter, then the super soul makes him forget through his avidya potency. Makes him forget his swarupa. When the living entity wants to enjoy, had many desires to enjoy different matter, the super soul gives remembrance of those desires. So chakarat purvasyaha sandini samvit kladini. Chakarat purvasyaha sandini samvit kladini bhakti adara shaktir murti vimala jaya yoga prakvi ishana anugrahadayascha nyeyaha. So the word chakara in that shloka, chakara, in which shloka? That the 10th canto 39th chapter 55th shloka. That is the main shloka of this anuccheda. Shriya pushtya gira kantya kirtya tushtyela yorjaya vidya avidyaya shaktya mayaya cha nishevitam. The chakara indicates many other aspects of the Krishna's energy which are not mentioned in the shloka, but chakara indicates what all it indicates. Chakara indicates the further divisions of internal energy such as sandini, samvit, kladini, bhakti, adara shakti, and the potency of underlying support, murti, vimala, jaya, yoga, prakvi, ishana, and anugraha. So chakara indicates many other aspects which are not mentioned in the shloka. Atra sandityeva satya jayaivotkarshini yogaiva yogamaya Samvideva Jnana Ajnana Shaktihi Shuddha Sattvam Cha iti Jneyam. So out of these, Sandini is the same as Satya. Sandini is the same as Satya. Eternal being, eternal existence. Jaya is same as Utkarshini. Yoga is same as Yogamaya. She who induces union. Yogamaya induces union between Krishna and the devotees, Krishna and Srimati Radharani. Like that. Samvit is the energy known as Jnana. Energy known as Jnana and Ajnana. Jnana, Ajnana and Shuddha Sattva. Samvit is the energy known as Jnana, Ajnana and Shuddha Sattva. Knowledge, ignorance and unalloyed being. And Prahvi Vichitra Ananta Samarthya Hetuhu. Prahvi or submissive responsiveness is the basis of the ability for unlimited variety. Vichitra Ananta Samarthya Hetuhu. So Prahvi Shakti manifests unlimited varieties. Unlimited variety. And Ishana Sarvadikarita Shaktir Heturiti Vedaha. So the Ishana is the energy by virtue of which the Lord is the supreme authority. So these are the divisions. So evam uttarasyascha yata yatamanya jneyaha. We should understand the appropriate corresponding divisions of Maya, the material counterparts, in a similar way. In a similar way. Tadevam apyatra Maya vrittayo na vivriyante bahiranga sevitvat. The various manifestations of Maya are not described here because they serve the Lord externally. So every energy in the Supreme Lord has a material counterpart and a spiritual counterpart. So the spiritual counterparts are described here. Material counterparts are not described in detail because they serve the Lord externally. So Muletu Sevamsha Matra Sadharanyeva Ganitaha. So in the original verse, they have been included because they have service in common with the other Shaktis. But the Maya is also, the external counterparts are also serving the Supreme Lord only. The service to the Supreme Lord is common, but they serve the Supreme Lord in an external way. So just like, for example, like in a house, the wife is serving the husband in an internal way, and the maid servant is serving the husband in an external way. So in the same way, the Supreme Lord is being served by the internal energies and the external energies. The service is common. The internal energies are described in more detail. For some aspects of this, Vidya Shakti, Avidya Shakti, as a spiritual counterpart, it makes the devotee forget Krishna's supreme position. And it makes the devotee love Krishna in an intimate way, like Yashoda considering Krishna as a child. The same Avidya Shakti, as an external counterpart of the Bhagavan, it makes the living entity forget its Swarupa as a servant of Krishna and makes the living entity identify with the matter. So, Bahiranga Sevitvam cha tasya Bhagavat Amshabhuta Purushasya Vidura Viguravarti Tayaiva Ashritatvat. So, Maya service is considered external, Bahiranga Sevitva, because of our taking the support of the Purusha. So, Maya is connected with the Purushavatara of the Supreme Lord. Maya is connected with the three Purushas, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Karanodakshaya Vishnu, and Shirodakshaya Vishnu. Because of our taking the support of the Purusha, Bhagavat Amshabhuta purushasya viduravarti tayaivaashritatvat. So viduravarti, while remaining at a distance from the Bhagavan. So Maya is taking support of the Purusha Avatara, and Maya is actually remaining at a distance from Bhagavan. So many places in the Bhagavatam it is described that Maya is standing behind the Bhagavan. When Vyasadeva saw in his Samadhi, what did Vyasadeva see? Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite male apashyat purusham purnam mayam cha tad apashrayam. Vyasadeva saw the Purna Purushottam Bhagavan, and he saw the Maya standing behind the Bhagavan. Mayam cha tad apashrayam. Vilajyamanaya yasya hatum ikshapate muya vimohita vikattante mamaham iti durdiyaha. Maya is standing behind the Supreme Lord out of shyness. It makes, because of Maya, the living entity is always speaking in terms of me and mine. So, tatacha dashamasya saptatrimshe Naradena Bhagavan Sri Krishna Yevastavi. So now Jiva Goswami is quoting a shloka from the 10th canto, 37th chapter. When Narada comes to meet Krishna, Narada, how he glorified Krishna. So from that, two shlokas are quoted by Jiva Goswami. We can repeat after me. Ten point 37.23 and 24. विशुद्ध विज्ञान गणम स्वसंस्थया
Shall I read, Prabhu?
yes.
Vishuddha Vijnana Ganam Swasamstaya
समाप्त सर्वार्थममोघ वांछितम
Samapta Sarvatamamoga Vanchitam
स्वतेजसा नित्य निवृत्त माया
Svatejasa Nitya Nivritta Maya
गुण प्रवाहम भगवन्तमीमहि
Guna Pravaham Bhagavantam Imahi
स्वामीश्वरं स्वाश्रयमात्ममायया
Tvamishwaram Vashrayam Atma Mayaya
विनिर्मिता शेष विशेष कल्पनम
Vinirmita Shesha Vishesha Kalpanam
क्रीडार्थमध्यात्मनुष्य विग्रहम्
क्रीडार्थमध्यात्मनुष्य विग्रहम्
नतोऽस्मि दुर्यं यदुवृष्णि सात्वताम्
नतोऽस्मि दुर्यं यदुवृष्णि सात्वताम्.
So we can read the translation.
We pray to you, O Lord, who are the condensed form of pure consciousness, whose intentions are all automatically accomplished due to being perfectly situated in your own self, whose will is unfailingly fulfilled, and who by your effulgence, the constantly flowing stream of gunas of Maya comes to a halt. 24. I bow down to you, the controller, who are your own support, and who, through your own potency of Maya, have brought into being the endless varieties conceived by you. For the sake of your own play, you have assumed this human form as the reader of Yadu, Vrishni, and Satvata clan.
So these two shlokas spoken by Narada Muni to glorify Lord Krishna. Narada Muni comes to meet Krishna. Narada Muni comes and remains Krishna. So this is time for you to come out of Vrindavan. You have many leelas to perform outside Vrindavan. Because Krishna is absorbed in the Vrindavan leela. That time Narada Muni comes. I think after Krishna kills Keshi demon, Narada Muni comes and remains Krishna. And then remains Krishna to about his leelas outside Vrindavan, Mathura, Dwaraka, many other leelas, many demons to kill. So that time he glorifies Krishna. So yeah, the Jiva Goswami is quoting those two shlokas and then he will elaborate every words in the shloka in relation to the present topic. So Bhagavantam Imahi, we pray to you, O Lord, Vishuddha Vijnana Ganam, who are the condensed form of pure consciousness. And Swasamstaya Samaptam, whose intentions are all accomplished, automatically accomplished. Are all automatically accomplished due to being perfectly situated in your own self. Swasamstaya Samapta Sarvartam. Sarvartam means all the intentions. And Amoga Vanchita. Amoga Vanchita means whose will is unfailingly fulfilled. And Swatejasa, by your own effulgence, Nitya Nivritta Maya Guna Pravagam. By your own effulgence, the constantly flowing stream of gunas of Maya comes to a halt. We offer obeisance to that Supreme Lord. And then, Natosmi, I bow down to you. Tvam Ishwaram, the controller. Swashrayam Atma Mayaya, the controller who are your own support. Swashrayam. And who through your own potency of Maya, Atma Mayaya, Vinirmita Ashesha Vishesha Kalpana. By your own potency of Maya, you have brought into being the endless varieties conceived by you. Ashesha Vishesha Kalpana. And Kridartham, for the sake of your own play, Adya, today, Attam, Manushya Vigraham, you have assumed this human form as the Yadu Vrishni Satvatam Duryam, as the leader of the Yadu, Vrishni and Satvata clans. So Narada is glorifying like that. So now he is explaining the meaning of the shloka. Anayor Arthaha, the meaning of the shloka is as follows. Vishuddham Yad Vijnanam Paramatatvam Tadeva Ganaha Shri Vigraho Yasya. The pure consciousness, Vishuddha Vijnana, is the supreme absolute reality. Pure consciousness is the supreme absolute reality. Its condensed form is his divine body. Tadeva Ganaha Shri Vigraho Yasya. Swasamstaya Swarupakarena Swarupa Shakyaiva Va Samyag Apta Ivapta Nityasiddhaha Purna Va Sarverta Aishwaryadayo Yatra. So, Swasamstaya means by being perfectly situated in your own self, means by your own essential form, or through your essential energy, Swarupa Shakti. Swarupa Akarena Atava Swarupa Shakyaiva. Your intentions are all automatically accomplished. Samyagapta. Ivapta. Nitya Siddha Purna Va Sarvoto. Your intentions are all automatically accomplished. In other words, it seems as though In other words, it seems as though they have been completely attained in you for all objectives, such as the wealth and so on, already exist within you in their fullness, eternally. Purna va sarvartha aishwaryadayo yatra. So atayeva na vidyate atituchatvat moge vrithabhute jagatkarye vanchitam vanchayasya. Therefore, you have no desire. Therefore, you have no desire. Avanchita. Therefore, you have no desire for deeds like the creation of the cosmos, which are worthless to you due to being exceedingly insignificant. Atayeva na vidyate atituchatvat moge vrithabhute jagatkarye vanchitam vanchayasya. Therefore, Krishna has no desire for creation because he is completely satisfied in his Swarupa Shakti. Everything is accomplished by his essential form, by his Swarupa Shakti. All his intentions are accomplished. So therefore, Krishna has no desire for activities like creation, which are worthless, they are atituchya, due to being exceedingly insignificant. Okay. So now there is an objection to the last paragraph of individuals. The objection is raised. So Kvachid, now there is an objection. Kvachid avanchitasyapi sambandho drishyata iti ashankyamaha. But surely, sometimes even a relationship with undesirable objects can be observed in Bhagavan. Like Lord glances upon this Prakriti, the material world is created. But surely, avanchitasyapi, sometimes even a relationship with undesirable objects can be observed. In response, Narada is saying that Tva tejasa swarupa shakti prabhavena nityameva nivritto duri bhuto maya guna prabhaga tat parampara yasmat. So by your effulgence, or in other words, by the influence of your swarupa shakti, the constantly flowing stream of the gunas of maya comes to a halt. That means you keep the gunas, the chain of the reactions, forever distant. The three gunas and the actions of the external energy, they are distant to the Supreme Lord. That is why they are the external energy, the separated energy of the Supreme Lord. Ittameva yuktam viragitam shaktya gunamai atma mayaya. So now he is quoting another shloka from 4th canto, 12th chapter, 6th shloka. 4.12.6. That Dhruva Maharaj going back to God. In that there is a shloka. Yuktam viragitam shaktya gunamai atmamayaya ityuktam. This means that you keep the gunas and the chain of the reaction forever distant. Therefore, Kubera similarly said. Kubera told about the Supreme Lord. Kubera told that the Lord is both endowed with and devoid of Shaktis, which are constituted either of his own essential nature or of the gunas of material nature. Atmamaya and Gunamaya. So the Lord is both endowed with Yuktam Virahitam, is endowed with and devoid of Shakti, and the Shaktis are constituted either of his essential nature, Atmamaya, or of the gunas of material nature, Gunamaya. So Atmamayaya, Swarupa Bhutaya Shaktiya Yuktam. She is endowed with the potencies that are inherent to his essential nature. Gunamaya virahita miti, and devoid of the potencies consisting of the material gunas. So the material gunas are the external energy of the Supreme Lord. So they apply in relation to the word virahita. The internal energy are connected to the word yuktam. So tam bhagavantam sharanam rajema. We take shelter of that Supreme Lord. We take shelter of that Supreme Lord. And then further explanation of this. Further part of this, we will see the next class. Tatatvam Sri Krishnakyam. Tatatvam Sri Krishnakyam. Basically, the explanation of the same shloka, 10.37.23-24. It is continuing. Further terms are explained by Jiva Goswami. We'll continue this. Should we have class on Tuesday afternoon?
What time, Prabhuji?
Maybe around 2 o'clock or maybe morning.
I don't know. Goes to office and all. We don't know. So. Anyway, Prabhuji, you can talk, so we can hear
Krishna,
whoever can attend, otherwise the person, so that we can go faster, maybe.
we have this last
I
few
can attend.
anucchedas.
No problem.
Last few anucchedas are the, and we are in the 99th anucheda. 102 anucheda is the last. I just wanted to complete for you. Tuesday, maybe afternoon, 2 o'clock we can meet. I'll remind later. Okay. If anybody has any questions.
So, Prabhuji, if Lord has no desire to create and everything's happening with his Swarupa Shakti, he's self-satisfied. So then when the living entities are in the Mahavishnu's body and the material world is created because of the bhoga vritti of the living entities. And Bhagavatam says that one moment's association of a pure devotee and that Sangha will, transform consciousness of a person. Then how come we are living in the Mahavishnu's body still? We are not getting purified and we are having this inclination to sin and all. Because we are in direct touch with the body, of the Lord.
The living entities were sleeping in Mahavishnu. Paramatma is one is in direct touch with the body of Mahavishnu. They are sleeping. They are sleeping in ignorance. He was not even aware that he is in the direct touch with the body of the Lord. The living entity is sleeping in ignorance. So even somebody may be in the personal presence of Krishna, but still one can, if a person is not engaged in bhakti to the Bhagavan, the ignorance will not be eradicated.
Yes. You had mentioned about Narkasur, right? Banasur. You had mentioned about that example related to it. That how he is Krishna's son, but still. In some Bhagavatam lecture, you had mentioned this.
Kala Krishna Das. person that personally engaged in the service of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but still he became attracted to the bhakta bodies. So Prabhupada says that if a person, even though a person may be in the association of the Supreme Lord, the person is not determined to fall, not to fall down, one can still get attracted by the other objects. So somebody said, Mahavishnu living in sleeping the body of Mahavishnu. Because they got purified by the Bhakti Tola, they would have gone back to Vaikuntha. But those who are still having the desire to enjoy, they are given again their bodies.
Haribo.
Correct. Correct.
Haribo.
Yes, sir.
Prabhu, I have no question, but I have one comment to make.
Yes.
I was going through all this anuccheda, and I am coming to a understanding that mostly about the Swarup Shakti, what you call it, eternal energy of the Lord. Right now, you have explained about the Ladini, Sandini, and Samved, and all further details. It is taking me to understanding that the external life which we are in is nothing but time wasting. If we understand Swarup Shakti of the Lord, is the solution is only directly go for the devotional service, and that too sincerely. And there it takes me to understand that the sense gratification is zero. It will deviate you. It will take your time, valuable time. It will put you in misery.
Correct. Your conclusion is perfect.
This is my understanding.
No, it's a right conclusion.
Yeah, what I mean, more and more I read about it, and more I am getting away from the sense gratifications.
Yes. Because when one person is engaging in bhakti, naturally the virakti comes.
Yeah.
It's supposed to come.
Does it mean that I am going on a proper way?
You are going in the right direction.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you.
Prabhuji, you have time for another question?
Yes.
So when every time we are reading anything, it is always, they say that you are identifying with your body, etc., mind and all that. So when situations go haywire in your life, then straight away you will definitely want to identify, because you are embodied, you are going through that trauma, you're going through that stress, or you're going through that dvandva. So what in that situation, you just have to open some Bhagavatam, or you have to open Gita or something and start reading. So how would you respond to this when something like this happens? Because you're always going to be attacked, whether you are a devotee, non-devotee, whatever it is. You're going to be shot every time with every things in that life. It may be Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmik, Adi Devik, whatever. So in that particular time, when we don't want to identify with the body, you're undergoing that trauma, so you're feeling it. So then what do we do that time? You have to sit and chant, because then the mind is also going to go in that situation, that why is it not getting rectified according to what I desire? Of course, Krishna knows he has a better plan for you, etc., etc. But that particular moment, even if you are situated in the mode of goodness, you are trying to, as Prabhuji said, he's on that path and you vouch for it. So when a person is practicing bhakti and still the externals, because of that person's choice, is coming to him, but then that particular time, how would you do it? How you just open the book and start reading, or what, or you hear a lecture to stop identifying with your emotions?
Uh, we do every person goes through the Dvandva. When Arjuna started crying after that, when Abhimanyu died, Arjuna had heard the Bhagavad Gita directly from Krishna. So when we go through different situations, we go through the different emotions, but at the same time, that will not affect his devotional service. It does not stop his devotional service. When the emotions affect one's devotional service, then one should actually give up those emotions. To the extent it affects the devotional service, one should give up those emotions. But suppose in the same, somebody is going through, somebody's child died. Naturally, one goes through the emotions, bitter emotions. But when we think the same thing, Krishna has entrusted this child in my responsibility. For this child, I could not properly give protection. I could not take care. You could not properly take care. Thinking like that, when you lament, then it's also a spiritual emotion in one. Or so in the sense that when we go through the we go through the emotions, but at the same time, while remembering the spiritual teachings, we don't let those situations affect our devotional service. So there is one beautiful statement was mentioned by Prabhupada's disciple Tripurari Maharaj. I will read that Bhagavad Gita purport. Bhagavad Gita. In chapter 2. See, he says that the essence of the Bhagavad Gita is do not lament, don't worry. One may question why remorse for the loss of the loved ones is not deemed appropriate. For such behavior is seen even in the great souls. Anticipating that Arjuna might argue in this direction in the face of the strong possibility of his dear ones might depart, Krishna says that they should not be lamented for. So knowledgeable persons know that the departed have merely gone elsewhere as they do so even in the embodied life. Although great persons are seen to lament at times, this is merely the expression of their manifest prarabdha karma exhausting itself, while they themselves know better and remain situated in knowledge of the nature of the self. The manifest karma of the great souls expires without diminishing their greatness. So although lamentation may be unavoidable, whatever emotions may be unavoidable. It can be lamentation or it can be sometimes anger, any other emotions. Although they may be unavoidable, but great souls teach us to pass through that phase without identifying with that phase. So when we witness the passing of our good and bad karma, without reacting to it, we progress in spiritual life. So Radhanath Swami Maharaj quote, as we develop a deeper self-awareness, we learn to acknowledge suffering without identifying with the suffering. And eventually we even transcend it. So it happens gradually. Like last week I was discussing in Bangalore, the second chapter, 4 shlokas Krishna speaks in response to Arjuna's question, what are the symptoms of a Sita Prajna? How does he speak? How does he walk? How does he sit? First 4 shlokas, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan Atman yevatmana tushtas tasya pragya pratishtita. And then Dukesh Anudvignamana Sukeshu Vigatas Pragaha Vitaraga Bayakroda Sidadir Muniruchate. And then Yahas Sarvatra Anabhishneka Tattat Prapya Shubha Shubha Nabi Nandati Nadveshti Tasya Pragya Pratishtita. And then the 4th shloka is that Yada Samharate Chayam Kurmongani va Sarvashaha Indriyan Indriyartebhya Tasya Pragya Pratishtita. 2nd chapter, 55 to I think 58. In these 4 shlokas, Ramanujacharya talks about 4 levels. The highest level is what is called as a Vashikara Sanya. In the Vashikara Sanya, a person does not even perceive the other material emotions, material desires, or what is happening in the material world. He has no, just like Prahlad Maharaj explained that Nyasta Kridanako Balo Naveda Jagadidrusham Nyasta Kridanako Balo Nyasta Kridanako Balo Jadavat Tan Manastaya Krishna Graha Grihitatma Naveda Jagadidrusham. Prahlad Maharaj, even as a small child, because he was completely immersed in Krishna, he did not even know what is happening in this world, how the world is going on. And he had no attraction to any childhood play. This is what is called the highest level, Vashikara Sanya. But this is the highest level, but there is something, in order to come to that level, one has to come to the level below that. That is described in the next shloka. That is called as a Vashikara Sanya. The next level is called as the Yatamana Sanya. Next level is called as a Ekendriya Sanya. Ekendriya Sanya. So Krishna says that Dukesh Anudvignamana Sukeshu Vigatas Pragaha Vitaraga Bayakroda Sitadir Muniruchate. When the happiness comes in the present time, one is not disturbed by those happiness. When the distress comes in the present, at present, one is not disturbed by that. Dukesh Anudvignamana, one is not agitated in the mind. He is perceiving the distress, but not agitated by the distress. He is perceiving the happiness, but not affected by the happiness. And about the future happiness, he is not hankering for that. Vita Raga. And about the future distress, which may come, he is not afraid of that. Vita Baya. And those people who cause an obstructions to one's happiness, one is not angry towards them. Vita Krodha. So this is what is called as a Ekendriya Sanya. So this is one level below the Vashikara Sanya. But when this level is also high. But in order to come to that, one has to come to the level below that. That is the next shloka. That is called as a that is called as so Vashikara Sanya, Ekendriya Sanya, and The third one is that Vikara Sanya, Ekendriya Sanya. So Vashikara Sanya, Ekendriya Sanya, and then the next is what is called as the Vyatireka Sanya. Vyatireka Sanya. That means Yaha Sarvatrana Anabhishneha Tattat Prapya Shubha Shubham Nabhinandati Nadveshti Tasya Pragya Pratishtita. So Sneha means affection. So Abhisneha means excessive affection. So Anabhisneha means one is devoid of excessive affection. One is that means when a person gets some material happiness, he feels happy, but not excessively happy. Not celebrating more than required. When a person goes through distress, one feels a distress. One is affected, but not excessively affected. This is what is called as a Vyatireka Sanya. But even this may be difficult. So then, what is the first level? In order to come to this level, the first level is the Yatamana Sanya. That means a person is beginning to control the mind and senses. That is what, just like a tortoise withdraws all the senses. What tortoise sometimes withdraws the senses, sometimes it doesn't withdraw. At least a person begins to control the mind and senses and focus on something higher reality. And he goes through periods of getting excessive happiness or excessively distressed. But when a person is doing this by the Yatamana Sanya, he will come to the stage of Vyatireka Sanya. And then, like Chitraketu Maharaj, by hearing from Narada Muni, he became, from the excessive lamentation, he was excessively lamenting. So from that, he came to the Vyatireka Sanya. And then, when a person continues to follow the process, one will come to the Ekendriya Sanya, and finally, one will come to the Vashikara Sanya. Just like Prahlad Maharaj did not even perceive what is happening in this world. So it's a gradual growth.
It's like Kunti Maharani also says, no? When yourself mentioned about that excessive affection, though they were sons and were devotees, still she said that to cut off that attachment, affection for them.
She meant the material, part of the material affection for them,
Okay.
not the spiritual counterpart. Because they are all devotees, whether the Vrishnis or the Pandavas, both are devotees. But she felt because of a material attachment, I am confused whether to pray to Krishna, to go there or to go here. But Vishwanath Chakravarti says that she did not mean the relation based on the spiritual platform. Not, he wanted to cut off the material affection.
Prabhuji, you can put up all these 4 levels on the chat, so everybody of us can benefit. We can read again and again.
Excellent.
I think Bhagavad Gita 14 chapter 22nd to 25th verse, it speaks about transcendentally situated person.
Yes.
He does not desire to enjoy the body, nor does he desire to get out of the body.
Yes.
He did not try to become free from the influence of the modes of material nature. because he acts because when one transfers one's consciousness to Krishna, then sense gratification automatically stops.
He observes how the modes are acting. Without identifying with the modes, he becomes an observer of the modes. He's neither become attached to it nor become averse to it. In the second chapter, he is describing, Ramanujacharya explains these are 4 levels. Like it is. 14th chapter, the symptoms of a person who was transcended the 3 modes. The same person, Sita Prajna, is only being referred to. Krishna explains in a similar ways. Okay. We'll stop here. So 3:40 already.
Prabhuji, earlier I remember you started with the Bhagavad Gita and it got stopped. Presently, you are taking any class on Bhagavad Gita?
Bhagavad Gita, currently I'm not taking it.
You can add me in that group.
Bhagavad Gita is always, sometimes I discuss some class. Second chapter I was discussing some small book of the Vedic and Tamil. Atma Tattva, second chapter. How Krishna, sometimes all the verses appear same, but every verse there is something unique thing Krishna is explaining in a different way about Atma Tattva. If I start, I will tell you. I wanted to start. I want to start Brihat Bhagavatamrita, but I want to complete this Bhagavat Sandarbha. After Bhagavat Sandarbha, of course, we'll start Paramatma Sandarbha. Brihat Bhagavatamrita, I'm thinking of starting in Tamil. Let us see. But,
Yeah, any class you are starting, you add my name or you send me the notification. I will.
I'll inform.
So,
Go-
Prabhuji, we get the translation. Then what you speak, then it comes in English. Is there any, whatever you speak in Tamil, does it happen like that?
That translation doesn't.
Okay.
Last week, Gauranga Bihari Prabhu was saying how Mataji is the most studious, sincere student in the entire Bhakti Vaibhav class. Very promptly, punctually attending every class.
He is not very fluent in English, Prabhu.
Mataji understands English classes.
Yeah, she can understand, but
Okay.
she can't speak outrightly. But
Okay.
by seeing the notes and preparing notes, she can speak on the.
Okay.
She don't ask questions, all that.
I take some Tamil classes in case if you want.
Yeah, you can send her.
It's there in Bhakti courses, Prabhuji's Tamil class. I've seen them. I mean, of course, I can't.
Once a week, some Tamil Bhagavatam I'm taking. In case if you want. Okay, we'll end here. Prantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.